Hello there, it's Courtney, and today's video is a little bit different. It's a bit of an Anfield Road stand expansion update. Now, yesterday was a bit of breaking news when it came to the stand, and that was that the Buckingham Group, who have been contracted as the building contractors, basically they bring in all the builders and build the stand basically, filed for administration. Now today I have gone down at Anfield, and a few clips of that will play as I'm speaking to you, but basically it was a bit of a ghost town. There was a few builders on site, but they were all leaving from what I saw, and this was at about 2 PM today. When I was there was a few leaving, and they did make quite a good point. Some of them, they were speaking and they went it was quite sad for them, because they put in all the hard work, all the man hours, and they're not going to see the stand get finished. And I think I do want to touch on that. I think a lot of the fact that the builders are not just losing out on work, but also there'll be Liverpool fans there that thought this is the dream job sort of thing for them again, and they have lost that, and I think that's getting lost a little bit in the story, and it is quite sad. But however, I am going to read the statement to you quickly about LFC before I go on a bit more about what I saw when I was down there today. So, Liverpool Football Club's statement reads, Buckingham Group has made us aware that it has filed for a notice of the intention to appoint administrators. This filing does not impact the planned opening of the new Anfield Road stand's lower tier on Saturday for the match against Bournemouth. Following the successful test event earlier this week, Liverpool City Council's building control team issued a safety certificate to operate the lower tier of the Anfield Road stand, and we look forward to welcoming supporters to Anfield for our first Premier League home game of the season. We will work with the Buckingham Group on the planned phased opening of the remainder of the new stand, and will continue to keep supporters updated on arrangements for future games. Our intention is to update all supporters who have a ticket for the Aston Villa match at the earliest opportunity. Now, that last little bit, update people who've got tickets, that's a massive worry for the club. There is tickets already sold for this upper tier, and now from today when I was down there, I can tell you all work stopped. It felt like a ghost town. There was nothing going on, as you can see in the clips. There was at one point a little bit of tarmac getting laid, but that was outside the fencing for the stand. It was towards where the turnstiles will be open tomorrow. But it's not looking good. There was a lot of equipment took off site and put by the porter cabins. There was also a lot of equipment such as cherry pickers that has been put in the wasteland area by the club shop. So it's not looking good. It does look like all work is seized, and at 2 PM the shutters were down at the site entrance, where you usually have the turnstiles for the workers to go in. I had seen a few come out earlier to then, but as I walked back past it on my way out, the shutter was down, and that's a sign that there is no workers on site currently, because they wouldn't shut it otherwise. And considering lately they've been working around the clock on this, it is a bit worrying that now all work has stopped when it was already so delayed. I had been hearing personally, and so had my dad and people that I know, that it wasn't going to be fully complete. That isn't saying it wouldn't have been opened, but it wasn't going to be fully complete until Christmas time, or maybe more New Year, which was worrying to hear back then, but it could have still meant it was open back then. Now I'm starting to think we're probably looking Christmas until it's open at the earliest. There was a video earlier today that I saw where even Portaloos were getting taken off site. So before any work even begins, once new contractors are brought in, there's going to need to be all this equipment brought back to site. The JCBs have gone, the Portaloos have gone, all this stuff needs to be brought back in before any work can be done. So it's going to take a while this to sort out. Whether, like the club says, they're trying to, apparently they're even saying they're working with Buckingham Group on the phased opening. I don't believe that's fully true when you go down there and see there was no one working there, but yeah, it's a very interesting situation at the minute, considering the Anfield Road stand. Obviously I was there Tuesday night for the test event, like they mentioned in there. The council did approve it after the test event, and even in the lower there's bits that needs to be done still. On the area that I showed, that was like the new expansion part of it, I called it like a breakout sort of area for when it gets really crowded on the main concourse. I do believe there was supposed to be TVs and tellies up there, and I did think when I was in there it did have sort of an unfinished look to it, and after hearing that, it sort of made sense as to that was the way they were going. But yeah, it's worrying times to do with the stand, in all honesty. I'm not gonna lie, I have struggled for tickets for this weekend's game. Luckily I am now sorted, but there's not as many spares going as I usually see around this time for a game, especially, I know it's the opening game at Anfield, but with it being someone like Bournemouth, you can usually grab yourself a spare if you know people. And because we're missing whatever it is, I think it might be somewhere close to 10,000 seats, because we are missing that, and whatever the lower the allowance used to be for the upper, whatever that used to be, we're obviously missing that. So there is a little bit of a shortage of tickets, so the sooner this is sorted the better. But like I keep saying, it is a worrying prospect. Now there is rumours of Everton's Bramley-Moore contractors, I'm not sure what they're called, but there is rumours of them being told they might be getting moved to Anfield, as we're halted at Bramley-Moore currently. But yeah, there's a whole different things that could go on at the minute. I do think a lot has been hidden from the club and supporters. I was reading yesterday that apparently Buckingham tried to wind up the company a few months ago and weren't successful in it. HMRC told them, no, you owe money, you can't just wind up the company. How true that is I don't know, but I had heard it yesterday, and that if that is the case, that is quite worrying that we never heard about that. Whether the club heard about it and chose not to report about it, that's another thing. I also found out yesterday that apparently one of the companies we had purchased the cladding off, they went bust earlier in the year. So it explains a lot about the delays for some of it, especially when you look at the stand and the cladding and the roofing is a lot of the stuff that seems to be delayed from the outside. But yeah, there seems to be little bits that have been hidden from us along this, and it is sad. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and obviously us as supporters look at it as we're going to have to wait even longer for the stand to be ready and for more tickets to be made available. And yeah, it was weird today walking around, considering how busy it's been in the past. In the past, usually constantly, literally just last week, you were seeing, even Tuesday actually, you were seeing builders everywhere around the clock, and now to see no one there and it's still not ready, it's quite a sad sight to see. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little update. I wanted to go a bit more in depth about it and show what it's like the day after the news has broke. But yeah, like I said, to me it looks like the site's absolutely closed now. The shutters are down on the site entrance. But yeah, that being said, I'll see you all Saturday for another match day vlog, and I'll see you then. Bye.